episode 84. I almost said 74. This is Lego, and I've got with me Hove and Mana, and our special guest this week from Team Resolute itself. We've got KnowTime. What's up, man? How's your week been?
My week has been fantastic, man. We've got a lot going on in our house this week, and I'm with the stream and off. So I've had a lot of momentum the past few weeks, and what I tell our folks is when they ask me how I'm doing, I say I'm in no place to complain. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to sit here and have anything to complain about.
You got no time.
That's right.
To
complain, and it kind of, you know, it works with the old name too. So,
like, I'm done with you.
Well, didn't you just join the Get Wrecked crew a little while ago?
I did, just a couple weeks ago. So I had I changed my name about 6 weeks ago. If y'all want to talk about that, we can. It's not a touchy subject or anything. But I changed my name about 6 weeks ago, and then went through a rebrand with Anubis Gaming, who is kind of the founder or whatever of Get Wrecked Live, who puts like all the live events together in the UK, and they put a stream team together with people over there, and starting to add people from the States on their stream team. And so he did my rebrand. He also did TV's like animated graphic intro here recently that kind of looks like a Marvel comic, but he did the rebrand for me. And right after that, I asked him, I was like, did y'all have any spots? Are y'all trying to grow your stream team? And he said, yeah, of course. And he added me there. I got that about a week after. And then this past week, I got a new job offer. So I'm starting that in a couple weeks.
Nice.
The job that I've been in has been pretty tough on me and the family as far as like daily travel and stuff goes. And this job is not going to have any of that. So it's been, and then you guys asked me to be on, so I've had a pretty good. April was really good to me. I couldn't complain.
Yeah, crazy few weeks, and that was Matt with Anubis Gaming, right?
Yes,
who
Matt.
helped you out. Dude,
Yes,
he's
right.
a great guy, man.
Yeah, he is, and he's really good too with
Guardian
with the
Con.
graphics.
Yeah, his stuff's awesome, especially the 3D stuff he's been doing lately. That's really cool. Well, Hove, how's your week been?
Interesting.
Well, I know you did a trials run this
Going on.
weekend.
Yeah, me, unfortunately, Wendler,
Unfortunately,
Wilson, and Tux.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Wilson. So that was fun, and
It was confusing because I was in chat, but I wasn't playing. That's probably what had you second guessing for a second.
I was like, who was there and who was there and playing?
Yeah.
So we might make that a Sunday night thing. That kind of came together last minute randomly. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, Lego was the original fourth, and then he said he wouldn't be there for a while, so we invited Wilson, and then Wilson didn't answer for a while, and then of course Wilson was like, "Yeah, I'll play," and jumped in, and Lego was like, "Here I come." And we were like, "Fuck," you know. So Wilson showed up first. Sorry, Lego.
Isn't that the way Destiny groups go, though? Like, anytime you're trying to get people together for something, there's always somebody who comes in at the same time as somebody else. You're like, sorry, man.
Awkward scenarios. Like,
so you just kick them from the party, and, I don't know what happened. Weird.
That's when you jump out of the party, kick them both, and then appear offline. It's like, call someone else. It's like, yo, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Too many people want to play. I'm panicking.
It's kind of how it is with raid groups too. We'll have trying to scramble to get a raid group together for like a week, and then 5 minutes before you get 3 or 4 people. They're like, "Why wasn't I invited?" I'm like, "Where you been all week? We're trying to get this together for a while now."
Yeah.
But pretty. Just like I said, a lot going on. Work's been interesting. I haven't gotten to touch Iron Banner yet. I mean, I know it's only Thursday.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see what happens this weekend. Just
God of War still treating you good?
Yeah, it's amazing. Seriously, I was just reading an article today that was all about how it came together and blah blah blah, and they were saying that it's one of the, I forget how they put it, but like they said how good it was, and then clarified they were like, we don't mean game of the year contender, we mean like up for like one of the best made games of all time. Like it's really really good.
I agree with that. I almost after I finished it. It wasn't yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. While I was tweeting out, like, I finally finished it and all that, I almost put down close to masterpiece. It was that great. Like it is. I suggest everyone to try it out.
Y'all are like making me really want to pick it up. Like,
yeah, that's by telling you it's like one of the best games of all time. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Exactly.
There's like literally everything about it is just top tier.
It's really seamless too. It's almost incredible that you're actually playing a game on console that it's so smooth and seamless between cutscenes and going just right back into the gameplay from a cutscene in between fights.
It's crazy because there's zero cuts during the entire game. It's
just one big movement. It's pretty crazy.
You literally like KnowTime was just saying you go in and out from like cutscene to playing again to like back into cutscene. You don't sometimes you don't even know you're back into playing.
So you're going like in and out and in and out and in and out is what you're saying. So part of that article I was reading, they were comparing some sales numbers and like Uncharted 4, I think, sold 2.7 million copies in a week, I think. And then they were like some of the other games, Horizon Zero Dawn was like 2.6 in a week. God of War has sold 3.1 million in the first 3 days it was out.
It's insane.
It just blew away every other.
Do you know what else blew away things this weekend?
A tornado?
No. Marvel Infinity War.
Infinity Wars.
Office weekend.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Of all times.
I haven't seen it.
Yes.
I'm kidding. I saw it twice.
We're not going to talk about it, but I did see it 3 times.
I saw it twice.
I saw it twice. Yeah, it as like Sunday and Monday went on, they were like, yeah, it's gonna just hit 250 million and beat The Force Awakens. Yeah. I think it ended at like 258 million domestically. It ended up beating it pretty good, and then it blew away the worldwide one, and it finished second internationally for an opening.
Wow. It's like they didn't even have what's the second biggest opening? Was that China? Is that when they do it next?
It's not even. Yeah, I was just saying it's not even in China yet.
It's not even out yet. Which is the thing. It's already breaking all these records. It's insane.
Yeah. It's go see it. Go see it and then play God of War.
Exactly.
That pretty much you'll be happy, I'll be happy. Marvel will be happy.
Disney will be happy.
Disney will be happy.
Man,
how was your finally be happy? Mine was interesting. I've been pretty much out of the loop with everything since Thursday. I took a nice little break because Evan, Shiny Sir, Resolute, he got married this Saturday.
Congrats, Shiny Sir.
Congratulations.
I know.
How drunk were you?
From me. Okay. So, like I said, you
remember?
My apartment has been the base of operations when everyone comes up. So everyone just kind of jumps into my apartment. We chill. That's why I took all those days off.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't been streaming since Thursday. Friday, I was getting nervous because I'm like co-best man, and it was the rehearsal. And I didn't know so he told me like a week before, it's going to be formal, the rehearsal. I was like, crap.
Where?
He's asking if I have khakis. I was like, no.
You don't have who doesn't have khakis?
No, I don't have dude, I wear shorts and or jeans. That's all I wear. And sometimes pajamas. By the way, I have an amazing pair of pajamas that they're Budweiser pajamas. Anyways,
I'm surprised he had pants at all. Like,
you don't need to see it, so I might not even know anything.
I know you own them. I've seen pants on you before. I know
Florida doesn't count.
I mean, you still own them, unless you rented pants. Man, I had to rent pants in Florida.
Just for those like 5 days or whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, no. Friday was the rehearsal. I was really scared because I didn't know what was happening to me. I ended up it went from the hardest like thing to the easiest thing because like when I was there, they're like, "Oh, you gotta walk two ladies down the aisle." I'm just like, I'm like, what? And then they ended up changing it up for me, so I only had to walk down once. I was like, thank you, because I didn't want to be that awkward person walking around the audience, going back up to like walk someone else down.
Oh, I thought you were gonna walk both at the same time.
No.
Who
literally
thinks...
walk once down and then back up around. Then like Evan and whatever goes, and then I walk down again behind them.
Who thanks people for taking girls away from them?
What?
Mana, apparently.
You should have went out there, put one on each arm, and just razzle-dazzled everybody right down the aisle.
It's not my wedding. I'm not supposed to be doing this.
I don't think you're supposed to be walking 2 women down the aisle at your wedding either.
True. I don't know.
Wasn't that way at mine.
Well, I don't know, depending on.
By the way,
It wasn't
ding.
my wedding.
Ding.
But anyways, and then Saturday, of course, was the wedding. Awkward thing happened.
Man,
okay,
polygamy
everything
is
at the
confirmed.
rehearsal.
Oh, okay, awkward.
No, okay. So me and the lady that so co-best man, co-maid of honor, I guess. I don't know. So there's the part where they went up to the podium or whatever it's called up there, and doing the ring thing, and the best man and maid of honor is supposed to go up there. During the rehearsal, they're like, let's just have all three come up, because there wasn't any bridesmaid or like groomsmen. There was just like us, six, I guess.
Mhm.
Two and two. So we come up after all of them because we're whatever. While we were approaching, like, we meet in the middle. She takes my arm. We go forward. We bow, and then we split off onto our separate. Before we got to do any of that, we met in the middle. Start walking forward. The deacon walks right in front of us and starts doing his bit and saying stuff. So we're just frozen, like,
You don't move.
yeah, no, we literally froze. Okay, everyone up on top of the podium's like making eye contact, but it's like, what's happening? And we're just like, nothing said, but we're like, we don't know. I don't know.
No, wait, was this was rehearsal though, right?
No, this was during the wedding.
Oh my
This was
goodness.
straight up during the wedding. So like the deacons there, like saying the prayers, like splashing the rings with the holy water, and we're just standing there behind them, like, we're just going to stand here and hopefully it looks natural, because like you can't
didn't.
really get a hold of him. You can't grab his attention during all that. That's disrespectful. I feel like if we go around him, that's disrespectful. So we're just there, chilling. We're both just like, oh my god, we're messing this whole thing up. It's like we couldn't really do anything. The best man was Evan's brother. You saw it in his face. He was trying so hard not to laugh. He was, because like we were frightened. And the moment everyone started coming down, we just like, turn around. Like, she took my other arm. We kind of walked away. They split up and sat down again. Like we were apologizing. We're asking people, like, did that look okay? It's like, yeah. Most of the people apparently didn't know it was a mess up.
Yeah.
So we're like, thank Christ.
No.
And then we jumped on the limo. We started drinking.
Jumped on
Tried
the limo?
100. Yes. Who jumps in a limo nowadays? It's 2018.
All right.
But 150-year-old rum, by the way, Haitian rum, was really good.
Wow.
Evan broke it out, and I pretty much drank for the next 5-6 hours and danced for like 4 of them. So yeah, it was a good time.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, as a wedding videographer, I greatly appreciate all that you just said. It sounds like
that's
it's been an
another
amazing
thing.
event to film.
Another thing we were afraid of, because the lady that was like doing all the photography and everything was right behind us as we were like supposed to split off, like, and we're like, she's going to have to find different angles. Like we went up to her, we were like, you got like the pictures, right? She's like, oh, don't worry, I worked around you. I was like,
Yeah, I'm sure that's not the worst thing she's ever had to
Oh yeah. that's
Yeah,
good.
probably not.
other than that, I think one slight mess up when they're going down and like greeting the parents. They were supposed to do it one way, like the wedding planner wanted to do, and they did the opposite, and they corrected it real quick. Other than that, it went perfectly. It was beautiful. Everyone was gorgeous, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations, Shiny Sir,
Yep.
if you're listening. And I guess my week, was filled with some Iron Banner. I did a lot of that this week, at least. And I guess last week, I'm not really enjoying Mayhem too much, so I didn't do too much of that. And instead, I just played a lot of PUBG. I got 6 chicken dinners out of 7 nights, though, which is
Nice.
like the best feel like I've ever done ever. So that was good.
That's
Ending with
awesome.
like 6 to 7 kills every time too. So felt good.
Oh yeah, speaking
then-
of that, there's another limited time event going on right now.
Does it involve 8 people?
5.
5's still good.
It's
you know,
kind of like
interesting.
last time where there's a predetermined circle. They said it's a little bit bigger than the last time, so a little bit bigger than a city, and it's just respawns. You just keep flying in every 40 seconds if you die.
Oh, that's cool.
You do start with random weapons, but this time you only start with random care package stuff. So like a level 3 helm,
What?
an
No, that's
AWM, a Groza, and you just keep
Wow.
respawning first team to 200 wins. So
That sounds awesome.
man,
Going on right now? Or
yeah, I think right now.
Wow,
Interesting.
that's cool. I know what I'm doing later tonight.
Very interesting.
Have been enjoying Iron Banner this week, and I've heard that the auto rifle's really good. People keep grinding for that, and the auto rifle that is out right now for the Strike. I haven't got it yet, but a lot of other people were saying that like, man, it's really fun to use. Like I think it was either Wilson or Bot, somebody was like, I put down Vigilance Wing to start using this auto rifle, like it's so good, and I was like, what? So I need to check that out.
Crap, I might have to grind it again.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good auto rifle. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get it NoTime? Were you
I actually, me and Winnie and TV were running Nightfalls the other night when I was streaming, and they weren't. This was two nights ago, I guess, and I got it on the very first.
Oh my god! You're one of those people.
No, I'm really not. I'm really not. It took me. I didn't get the sniper rifle. It took me 26 Nightfalls to get the DFA, and I helped people with the Nightfalls of the DFA on stream that week, and I think we probably ran like 70, and I saw 3 drop, including mine. So,
dude, I think I was with you when yours dropped. I think was that me?
Yeah, I think you were. Yeah, you were. We ran a lot that week. Yeah.
Doing it just normal. I'm surprised that doing it normal like gets you the drop. It almost feels like it shouldn't, you know? But
right. Yeah, it's kind of one of the. It's a pretty low chance, but it's also a lot less risk than trying to take 15 or 20 minutes to get through a prestige, and then you get to the boss fight, something crazy happens, and you end up wiping, have to start all over. Or you could run in the same amount of time. You could probably run 3 normals.
Yeah.
So if
risk
you're helping,
versus reward.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're helping people with a lot all week, it tends to go a little bit easier when you're running the number of normals versus trying to get through a third as many prestiges, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
well,
I'm gonna have to try for the auto rifle. I didn't go for the sniper rifle.
Same.
The DFA took me a really long time. I had to do 3 Nightfalls.
So long.
7 minutes before reset.
Oh, that's right.
Really.
I remember that. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That I will say the Iron Banner Pulse rifle is pretty good too. If you're a fan of like the Suros and like the Hawksaw from D1 or some of the Suros energy pulses in D2, I think one of them's the one of something Perdition, which is the Crucible one, and I think that there's Swift Ride or something like that you can get.
So these are all brand new weapons in
no. Once he's naming, you're already in the game.
Yeah, they're already in the game.
Okay,
but if you like that style of pulse rifle, like the
you're comparing them to. Okay, I got you.
The Iron Banner one, I in my opinion, is better than either of those. I would highly recommend getting it. It's in if you can't get it from a package, it's for sale this week.
That is actually the one thing I got to drop for me was the pulse rifle, and I haven't got to use it yet. I'm really excited to though, because I really like that archetype. Before I started using the Vigilance Wing in the new patch, that was the kind of archetype, those Suros pulses that I was running to that felt really good. So I'm excited to try it out.
Well, when the update drops, the DLC, just come play with me, Lego. You'll have all the weapons in no time. Ding. Lego made my words in no time. So I'm going to look really corny because we have no time on, and I had to say in no time.
I was about to say, was that on purpose?
I know, it sounded like a pun. It came out exactly the way I hoped it would.
Oh my goodness, y'all.
Okay, well, speaking of no time, we need to get to know you, man.
Okay.
Is it? I feel like I need to throw another pun, but I'm gonna reserve myself.
I've heard them all, dude.
So, we ask everyone who's on the podcast, but what do you feel like is your place in the Destiny community? What can people find you doing the most?
Probably PvE. That's where I started, like my stream and all, which I guess was about a little over a year ago. Mm-hmm. I started streaming from the Xbox to get that emblem, the D1 emblem, Can't Stop the Signal or whatever it was. I just started doing that, and then I picked up Destiny 2. I was an Xbox main through all the Halos, played Titanfall on Xbox.
Yeah,
and then started with D1 on Xbox, and finally got some enough people to run a Vault of Glass. Pretty early on, we were still all using blue gear and weapons and everything.
What a feeling!
And I was hooked from then. And I played a lot of PvP. I mean, it's always been fun to me, but it's a little bit easier for me to interact with people that come to the chat when I'm playing PvE. I don't know. I just and when I stream, that's what I would rather be doing that than looking good on your portraying skill or whatever on my stream. I mean, I'm okay. I'm not. We've played Lego, and I played with Manny too in trials, and I don't know. I would rather die in a strike or raid or something looking at chat than show off or whatever. So, and I find it easier to do that in PvE stuff and get away with it than if I was like last man standing trials and all that, and like I'm all tense and people are watching. I'm just like, no, I don't feel like doing all that.
See, that's how I feel in PvE. Like, I feel like when I go into PvE, I'll be letting people down in a raid. Versus if I'm in PvP, I feel like way more relaxed. It's just weird how it can feel opposite depending on like your personality and play style. You know,
it's also funny how opposite. Like, you know, he was saying that you don't like to show off. You'd rather have fun, interact with chat. Whereas Lego, like he'll title his stream like, "Oh, I'm going to stream today because I'm on a 20-game winning streak in Rumble. Everyone come watch me." and then he tries to get people in chat to come play him so that he can beat them and then laugh at them. So yeah, Lego.
It's awesome.
Lego's like
my favorite.
There's nothing wrong with that. No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I don't know. I work all day. I don't know how many folks know that I'm an attorney. I have crazy hours and a crazy schedule with this job that I'm leaving. And so by the time I finally get to sit down and play and stream, like pretty much, yeah.
That makes sense.
PvE, you can chill in PvE, so
yeah. We'll play PvP too. Like I'll run Iron Banner with folks from REZO and run into people that are in our clan and all that kind of stuff, and play some nights with TV and group up with different people, especially weeks like this when 6v6 Iron Banner's going on. We definitely do.
Yeah. That's like the coolest thing, having all your friends on for. That's what I love 6v6 for right now. Just having all your friends on. It was so good the first week they did 6v6, and we were like, the first thing we did was ran a full team of Resolute, and I was like, this is so awesome. It's been so long since we had 6 Rezo guys playing PvP again.
PvEP.
PvP.
That's how we used to do it in D1 too. We'd get out of a raid and just say, all right, let's go run some pubs or something. We'd play for Crucible for an hour or two until everybody had to break up from the fire team.
I really like PvEP, just so we're clear.
PvEP?
Yeah, that's what you just said. I was.
They need to do something like that, like Halo did, like where
I would love that
team versus team with like AI enemies in between. They did those like big team battles.
Titanfall kind of did something like that.
Titanfall's pretty good with that too. Yeah, the normal guys running around to distract.
Attrition. I think
attrition. Yeah, that was it.
Well, I mean, I'd love a dark zone or something like on a PvE map where like there's areas where you can like kill other people on the map. I don't know. Maybe that'd cost too much griefing, but
not to jump ahead, but apparently there's something new coming that is new to in general to all shooters. Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about that because that's not in the TWAB. I mean, I don't know what that was in like a Twitter comment or something like that, right?
I think it was PC Gamer, an article like it
Game
was
Informer just posted a little like a paragraph saying something about Activision talked about the fall expansion and stating the expansion would include a mode that quote is new to first-person shooters as a genre unquote.
What could that even be? And I know all the people from the community summit got to play some new game mode. Somebody talked about something at some point, right? Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, somebody talked about something at some point. Lego, you are correct. No, I think that's the mode that we're talking about, though. They said there's a new one coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mainly what they went for, was to hear about and give feedback on what's coming, not necessarily what's coming next week, but on down the line.
Yeah.
So
I know there's a lot they can't talk about yet.
I assume that they would have at least heard about it. You know.
Yeah.
So what do you think it's going to be?
I have no idea.
I don't know, man.
If it's something new that we've never seen, it's going to be hard to guess for, because everything we're going to guess is probably based off of something that already exists.
Be creative, Lego. Think outside the box.
I can't. This is all everything I could think of is like stuff I already have.
Do you
It's
think-
going to be Sparrow Racing, but Mario Kart style. Double Dash Mario Kart style.
Sparrows and banana peels.
Lego looks disgusted by your idea.
Well, it's not really new to first-person shooters, though. It's because
It is. I mean,
is it not? No, it wouldn't be a first-person shooter if it was Mario Kart, but if they
That's
had
true.
Mario Kart elements in a first-person shooter.
I mean, you're right in that like it would be new to first-person shooters, but you're also totally wrong because that's not what it's going to be.
just think about kind of what that means. If you think about other games that are kind of like Destiny, but not really, you got Battlefield, which has an unruly amount of people in one game.
yeah.
Think about that, like that many people in a game of Destiny, or like a map that size. Like
Yeah.
when
would
the
be
game
sick.
first came out, they kind of conveyed in a way that public locations would be, that massive, and that you'd be running into people all the time, and like at least 16 people would be able to go into like one of the locations on Earth or the Cosmodrome, as they called it in D1, or something like that. I would love to see anything that would draw that many or more people to a public location.
I'm
Can
all
you
for that.
imagine just like a 64 player, like
Yeah, it'd just be crazy.
running around, fighting. That'd be crazy.
Anything
I think
that's
that
like
was in a
big team
Battlefield,
battle.
right? Like on PC, was it like 64 v 64 or something
64.
like that?
Probably
On
or
console,
64
too.
total at least.
Yeah.
Was that
I think it was 64
Yeah.
total on console.
Yeah,
Like,
32 v 32 or something like that on console. I want to say.
just-
Still crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So, I mean, for them to say something like it's never been seen in a first-person shooter, though, like you have to think it has to be some sort of objective-based mode, then, right? Because otherwise, it's just killing people.
Right.
Here's something. Here's some
so.
speculation. All right, so the Battlefront 3 that got canceled and all that.
Yeah.
It was supposedly going to have this technology back then where you can go from a planet, big team like doing the thing in Battlefront planet, and then you could fly out of orbit to space battle.
Oh yeah. We
would
haven't
that
seen
be?
that. We haven't seen that in Destiny yet. Actual space battle where we have control over our own ships and that kind of thing. That would be
People have been
would be
talking about
crazy.
that forever
Yep.
too. Like
We've
if they
just
brought
been wishing.
anything
Yeah.
to do with that into the game, it'd be awesome.
Like each ship would have its own unique like fight style, like special
Yeah.
weapons and all that. How crazy would that be?
That would actually make them useful,
I know.
meaningful. Yeah.
Mhm. That'd be sick.
Well, I still got at least two more questions for No Time before we jump into more of the Destiny stuff that's going on right
Okay.
now. One, what is your favorite like gameplay style? Like, do you feel attached to a certain class in Destiny, or did anything you identify as?
Can you tell what that is?
Let me see. I can.
That's a hammer of soul.
I see
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Sunbro man. I like playing all three. I actually started Destiny 1 as a gunslinger to kind of round out our fire team. The beta of D1 came out the weekend before I took the Tennessee bar exam.
Oh wow.
And a good friend of mine had like 2 or 3 codes. And I was like, I do not need that at all. I trust y'all's judgment. I do not need that in my way this week. And I've actually probably played more D1 and D2 than the 2 or 3 of them combined.
That always happens. Your
it's
friends
crazy.
bring you into it, and then you end up being the one getting
Yeah.
hooked.
I blame them for all this. No, so I was a gunslinger then, and I just had the hardest time getting to the level cap on my hunter and the Dark Below, and I ended up going from like 2 hunters and a Titan at the time to 3 Titans, and that was before hammers was even a thing. And I don't know, I made like 13 characters in D1. All I did was raid. It took me a long time. It took me several months to find my first job. And so I'd apply for jobs and everything, and then hang out and watch Twitch and raid with people off LFG. I would just go through LFG and like raid, enter the raid, next raid till my wife got home from work. Try to build connections however I could,
Yeah.
And then the Taken King came out, and man, all I played was hammers. That's all I played. And if you remember it, when it first came out,
it was
man,
disgusting.
They were so broken.
They were really good.
But they were so much fun.
Uh-huh.
And I carried that over. I carried over the Titans to D2 as well. I still play all three, but I generally stick to Titan first and foremost.
Dude, remember how good Sun Charge was when it first came out in D1?
Really good,
Dude,
especially in threes.
So good.
Yeah, I'd use Sun Charge in Elim or Skirmish, and then I'd use whichever, I can't remember the name of the perk, but the one that would let you throw more hammers in sixes. It was really good.
Good times.
Can we look back and wonder who thought it was a good idea to give this new class a melee in their, like a melee super with a long range tracking hammers, with the fact that it was the only super that couldn't be sniped with one shot except with the highest impact?
It was so strong.
Let's make it so no one can kill you, and you can kill them from across the map, and if they sneak up on you, you can also kill them from right in front of you.
The detonation on the hammer back then was crazy, and you had and it had you could select the perk kind of like from D1 Golden Gun, where you shoot somebody, combustion I think it was called on Golden Gun, at the Gunslinger at the time, and it would just, man, you could kill a whole team easy. One super kill a team really
easy. Maybe that's why I fell in love with Black Spindle. It was just so high powered.
That is why you started using Black Spindle. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
probably.
It's the only thing that could take him down at the time.
For some reason, I actually really liked it. It's kept on using it.
I vaguely actually remember, because that was when it was only that and Event Horizon. Was that the other one?
Aphrodite Spear was one back in D1, and then Event Horizon. Well, back in year 1 or 2, and then Event Horizon came.
Right.
With Rise of Iron.
But yeah, I remember there was only a couple, and I remember that you got Black Spindle, and it was like the only one that could, one of the only ones that could snipe the hammer, so you started using it, and then you were the only person. Everyone else was bitching about it, man. It was like, I kind of like it.
It's like, there's something about it, and then I started using it in trials. I was like, it's, I don't know.
It is so funny watching you use it in trials too, because I remember specifically watching you with that gun and being like, I know he's so good at it, but like on paper, this gun doesn't make sense for trials at all.
The aim assist was like 3.
Yeah.
Hobie was just like, why are you using that gun? You know you can be so much better if you use like what was that the Queen's one? The really
I know you got one impact cap. I can't remember.
Wait, the one Tash had? Is that what you're talking about? The Supremacy?
Supremacy.
Yeah, that's
Supremacy. Oh, I'm going to look it up right now. Actually,
it was Supremacy.
There was 2 different ones. There's one when
the
Queen
was Her Benevolence. Oh no, that was
that was one of them.
That was one of them.
Supremacy and Her Benevolence. Those are the 2.
Yeah, Her Benevolence was Prison of Elders, right?
Yeah.
Supremacy was the one time Queen's Wrath.
With the Queens. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, you guys are right.
Yeah, Her Benevolence you would use in trials because
I still have it.
Supremacy you wouldn't be able to. Or wait, am I getting that mixed up? I can't remember. One of them's too old and you couldn't use it in trials, but
Her Benevolence. I have 170 light level 1, so
yeah, that one.
I got the OG. I used to run around in Rumble with that back when I was obsessed with Rumble. That was when I first started using snipers a lot because of Hobie, because I started playing with him a lot. So I started playing snipers a lot, and it's just like, just the thrill of, going into Rumble and just being an aggressive sniper. I miss that.
Yeah. Well, I think we should probably jump into all the new stuff coming out, because there's so much stuff to talk about today with this ginormous TWAB. Or they called it TWAB in the Kevin did in.
I heard that in the video. I was like, that's just,
I was like, it's not TWAB. It's
I guess it's not. I guess it's technically TWAB. I actually thought about it longer than
it makes sense.
And I was like, if at has a long A, then it should be TWAB.
But what about swab?
This week, Bungie.
Right? Cotton swab.
So, right. Yeah. But how it's spelled, you'd think it'd be TWAB.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think the A stands for at, it would be TWAB.
Let's talk about those videos.
I don't know, man.
Everyone knows it as TWAB, and he's like,
something
else.
Right.
You probably just did it on purpose, yeah.
Just so we talk about it.
They did these Bungie developer insights that were
Mhm.
like just little developer videos, and they kind of came out separately, some of them before the 12. So we can kind of talk about those first. There's one that's the Crucible, and then one that's activity exploration, and then there's another one coming May 4th that isn't out yet. But the Crucible one, it's just, I think it was John Wisniewski and Kevin talking, and that's the one where he says twab. And they just talk about like masterwork exotics, the process behind it. And there wasn't really any new information. They just kind of talked about like how you'll go and get like the masterwork exotics. And the main thing that whole video impressed on me was how they really wanted you to have something to chase in the Crucible. Like that was the theme of it, I feel like. And it really made me excited for, like, it made me feel like this expansion was kind of like what House of Wolves was for Destiny 1, how Crucible didn't really have anything for you other than the random drops, and then they brought us trials for the first time. And I feel like this is bringing us ranks into Destiny for the first time, and it's the new thing to chase that people will be teaming up for. So that's how it just made me feel. John, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I agree with that, and I'll be interested to see. Well, the first thing that I really want to do when I log on is probably go and see what exotics are going to be able to be masterworked right now, because not all of them are.
Yeah,
and I'll be interested to see what I guess what all requirements there are, because I know you had to have a masterwork catalyst, and there's going to be a hint on each exotic that is going to be able to be masterworked as to where you can find that masterwork catalyst.
I bet YouTube channels are going to be so happy about this, being able to put out information.
Yeah. I wonder if like Vigilant Swing, if that's going to be found in the Crucible, or if there's any that are going to be really specific to the Crucible, or if they're all going to be specific to PvE. I know they showed Cold Heart last week, and it read to me like you'll be able to get a chance at getting the catalyst for Cold Heart from like a Nightfall or something. Okay. And then after you get that, then you can apply the masterwork catalyst, and then you have another step that you can do by getting like kills or doing some other step to fully masterwork the exotic and get all the stat boosts and all that kind of stuff. But I'll be interested to see if there are any that require Crucible specific.
Yeah.
Instead of PvE stuff.
It sounds like it'll be a little bit like the way it was to upgrade like to Necrochasm, the gun from D1. Like, I mean, that was a super long grind because you had to do a ton of hive kills and then do a ton of other kills with the next gun and then apply something you get from the raid. And so this is a little different, but it has that step process where it's like, hey, solve this mystery first, then get so many headshots or whatever the challenge is to get that gun completely masterworked. It sounds cool. I like the idea of it.
Yeah, I do too, especially since most of the people who have been playing the game since the beginning have all the exotics already. They won't have they'll have the new ones to chase, but from what I've heard and what I've seen, the changes to a lot of the exotics on top of the masterworks are going to basically be like a whole new thing to chase. It's like they're new exotics, even though we may already have them, like the ones that they've shown that have been changed.
It's cool that they came up with this process because they didn't want to do what they did with Taken King, where they reset all our exotics and like, you have to get them all again. And you're like, what?
Right.
And so now you still get to keep what you have. You could just get something better, better version of it.
Right. And it's up to you too. It's like, and that's really what I'd like to see in PvP and PvE. Like right now I have 3 or 4 weapons that I have go-tos that are kind of like the best DPS weapons or whatever in the game. That's kind of what I go to. It's what I'm comfortable with, and I would love to have more like diversity and choice in PvP and PvE as well. And I'm hoping, and I think that the changes to the exotics that they're making and adding now the masterwork versions of the exotics that we either have or could get, I think that will bring a lot more diversity, and I hope that it does.
Yeah, and that's the one thing he said in the video that stuck out to me a whole lot was he talked about the 0.8 second time to kill that Vigilance Wing has, and just reinforced the idea that, hey, we're not bringing that down, we're bringing everything else up to meet that in some way. And just the more they reinforce that, the more I think they're really going to do it, like making weapons pretty strong. So it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
The next video that they did was the activities and exploration one, which is more like PvE focused. And they said one of the things is they wanted to give us tons of stuff to chase, just like in PvP. They're doing it for PvE. They said a line that stuck out to me that said they want the diversity of like the locations that you're at in PvE to feel out of control. Like there's just a ton of diversity in what you face or what you come across as far as the landscape and stuff. And then the end of the video, which I would recommend you not watching this if you want complete PvE spoilers. Like, don't watch this video, because I felt personally, like, for me, I was like, whoa, I didn't actually want to see that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they do something at the end that's like, they show like a little bit of one of the things that they hinted to in the trailer. It's like there's going to be some big bad, but they actually show a little bit of it. And you're like, whoa, wait, I didn't want to see that, you know? And so I did like that they said they wanted the whole storyline to be like a progression towards like building up the big boss before you actually face it. So I won't say what it was, and don't watch the trailer if you don't want, you know, to know anything. But they also released, which they talked about in the TWAB, which we'll get to in a second, that there's like some web lore and the Warmind comic, which the web lore in particular, I haven't gotten to the comic yet, but the web lore talks also about who will be facing and what we'll be facing. So read it if you like the lore. I really like it because some of it reads kind of like the Book of Sorrows does, and I ate that stuff up. It's so interesting to me. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you should check it out. But if you don't want to get spoiled, then maybe wait.
So you're into like lore and mythology and stuff like that, right?
See, I'm not, because I don't know enough about it, but I get into...
That's what I mean, like you like reading and learning about that stuff?
Yes, I do.
You should go play God of War.
Yeah?
Just
okay.
saying. I also want to
knew
point
he was
out,
going to say that, by the way.
Yeah, I figured you did. I want to point out importantly that we're nearing an hour into the podcast, and I don't think anyone has used any of their words for conversation penetration, and I'm rather disappointed.
You're right.
Mine's rough, man.
I've used 2 of the 3 of mine.
Look, I like to savor mine.
No, you just use yours at the end and cheat. You're a cheater.
Well, you use all yours at the beginning. You cheat.
You cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that reminded me of an Avengers line, but I'm not going to say
They're
it.
not even that bad this week. I mean, Banna's aren't great, but everybody else's aren't too bad.
Oh, they're not okay. I was like, how do I know you use your words? Because I haven't heard you say these words, but I didn't realize we have.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, nobody knows.
different words.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Oh, that's what we should do.
And
We
then-
should give each other the same words and see who can like finish them first or something like
I'll
that.
be
I
done
don't
in like the first 30 seconds. You'll never get any done.
All in one
know.
sentence.
Yeah, that's true.
I was
that's
gonna
true.
use I was gonna use all 3 of them in one sentence, actually.
I'm glad you didn't.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
don't even know how to come up with how to put mine together.
Yeah, mine doesn't go in the same sentence.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
use them
yeah.
whenever.
Yeah. Right.
Well, 2 might be able to be used.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not the last. Man, I hope it's not the last 2. Yeah, I hope it's not your second 2 that you're gonna use together.
Things get
no.
really weird if I use all 3 in the same sentence.
Oh my gosh. Things would get really weird for me too. Not gonna lie.
No, yours aren't bad at all.
I'm not saying it'd be bad. It would just get weird. Okay, well, let's talk about the TWAB since we're practically there. The first part of it talked about Vicarious Visions. You know, they're the ones who kind of had control of this new expansion, and basically they had a big paragraph that you can read about what they kind of their vision for everything, and really it's just like a hype paragraph.
Would you say their
and-
vicarious vision? Go ahead, I'm done.
Did I say? I don't know what I said.
No,
Um,
no, never mind.
But they seem pretty hyped about Anna Bray, and that makes me hyped to actually like see what her story's about. So that's basically what the paragraph did for me. And then they talked about the web lore and the Warmind comic for a little bit, which we won't really get into that because I don't want to get into spoiler stuff. But you should definitely go check it out if you're interested in the lore. And then this is the part that we can all talk about: is we got a patch preview, which I'll just kind of go through these one by one, and maybe we can comment on some of them. The first thing being vault space, 200 to 300 items.
It's not bad.
50% increase. At first I was like, I don't know, that's not very much. But then I was like, that's a 50% increase. That's kind of a lot, you know?
Yeah, I think
It's something.
It's something. Yeah.
Anything as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I think I'm hoping that September might extend that. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
for an expansion or DLC of this size, 50% at this point is pretty good.
I agree. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking after thinking about it for a while. Is that 50% is like enough so I don't need like I can delete all the blues still, but I can still keep the super important stuff. Like I still get meat and potatoes, but I can delete the broccoli and carrots. I don't know. I can't put this word in right. I don't know.
What was that?
What kind of meat?
Y'all know?
What about chicken fried steak?
No, I don't think that's acceptable.
Y'all know Tux, Clamated Virus, works at Vicarious Visions. I think I'll probably have to treat him to some beef stew or something after all this. All the way.
Tell me that's a word.
Yeah. Beef stew is one. Can confirm.
But yeah, vault
on,
space.
Mana,
That's
your turn.
nice.
I can't use any of mine really. And
Tux is in chat. I wonder how he feels about beef stew. By the way, I
I
like beef stew.
probably
He
likes
said,
Probably
see?
avoids it like the Black Plague is what he does.
Look at you guys just
Oh
just
my goodness.
pumping out those words.
We got the emote wheel emotes no longer in the vault, and now they're always with you. So there's no more emotes in the vault. Like you just have. So I haven't seen exactly how. Like they showed us the emote wheel, some of the previews that they've done for us, but I didn't see how like you're able to at any time add stuff to it or take away to it from your collection. Like you don't have to go to the tower to do it anymore. You just always have it, which is great. Because frequently I feel like I got one on a different character and I'm like, oh yeah, it's on that character, or it's in the vault. I deleted it. I have to wait to go to the tower to pull that one out again or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just use the selfie emote. That's about it. I don't.
Oh yeah, I
You
do
know
use
what I
that
mean?
one all
Like
the time
it's really good, and like for the same reason, I'm not gonna make a special trip to pick up a bunch of emotes that I'm gonna change periodically throughout whatever I'm doing.
I like that's a good question. I'm wondering what all y'all's favorite emote is, because right now mine's the encourages everyone one, and he like does the arm thing, and
Wow, do that one more
love
time,
that.
Lego.
Are you gonna make me real big on the screen where
Look at how buff he is.
Look at that, man.
I'll make
It's
him real
not
big on
close.
screen.
Oh my god.
Anna, Hove, what
There's no dinging in there either.
That was just Mana, just
That's
being-
your favorite emote?
Normally it's Hove, but I took the mantle for once.
Thank you.
Had to be done.
What's y'all's favorite?
It was the
emote?
only way, Tony. Sorry.
I like the selfie emote because you can glitch with it. You can be doing the selfie and then start dancing, and like you third person away from yourself. But
Really?
it's still like doing a selfie, and you can there's one part of the raid. Fury posted a video, a clip of him doing this. You can take a selfie and then you going down the elevator after the gauntlet fight, and your phone and the camera stays up above you and it looks down at you when you go. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I gotta try that.
Yeah, and then I think there was one time I was dancing, did the selfie emote, started a dance, and it was doing the phone away from me while I was dancing, and then somebody shoulder charged me or something and kicked me out the one way, and my camera stayed in the same place and was looking at me way over there. It was crazy. I haven't seen anything like that with any of the other emotes.
That's
So I
awesome.
like it for that reason.
That reminds me of something else that I saw this week. That was a Titan or Warlock, like is a Titan on Mercury. No, I just remembered. It was like a Titan that was doing its slam, and he gets on top of one of the Cabal
I
ships
saw
on
that.
Mercury.
And welcomed him to the jam. Right?
It was
No,
like
no,
NBA.
close
It was like
close
NBA Jam.
No ding ding either.
So
I saw that.
he goes to slam, and I can't remember exactly what happens, but somehow he slams through the teleport thing that sends you to the public event space, and then somehow hit another teleport that sent him back and perfectly went through a circle and slammed a Vex guy. Like it was like field goal. Like
Yeah, it was like
perfect time.
pinball. It was crazy.
Yes, it was like pinball with a goal at the end.
Mhm.
Anyways, yeah, I think Cosmo or somebody retweeted it. It was pretty awesome.
Am I wrong? Am I making this up, or are they remaking Space Jam? Not Bungie, just in general. Isn't that a thing? Aren't they remaking
I was going to
Space
be
Jam?
mind blown. I was like, what?
I think they
That's the new mode.
It's Titan Bowl. They're bringing Titan Bowl to Destiny 2. That's what it is.
That would be
What
amazing.
if they do?
That'd be so great.
You know what would be the best part about it? Suing them. That would be my favorite.
Oh man.
What's that game type in Halo with Griff Ball? Like they did in Halo. Let's bring it in Destiny.
Dude, because they could make Titan Bowl and bring back like the Rift mechanics, and that's the only way you play Rift is with like Titan Bowl somehow. I don't know.
I mean, they wouldn't do that, but that would be cool.
Yeah. So new things they added with the patch notes, Leviathan guide emblem. So now when you guide people, which we complained about, or maybe not complained, but we with Shackle when she was on, we talked about like the guide system and how there's not really incentives and stuff to do it. Well, they're giving us an incentive now. You get a guide emblem, and it tracks completions, and you get an aura on that emblem whenever you do a guide for that week for the Leviathan, and then you get a bright engram whenever you have the aura and you do one after that. So you get one free bright engram a week basically for doing a guided raid, which I don't really know how I feel about that, but I'm not the one doing guided raids. So I don't know. I just feel it just feels weird to be like, here's your one bright engram, which everybody gets 3 of like per week for sure because it's so fat. It just seems like a very low bar to reward someone. At least they're doing something, which I'm glad about. I just don't know. It's not really an incentive for me to like help people though. I'm not really a raider, so it's hard for me to say.
Like, oh, you should just want to do it because you're nice.
Yeah. Well, I'll help people in PvP. I'm that nice, at least. I don't know. No Time, you play more raids probably than we do. Does that seem like an incentive to you, or?
Yeah, I have not used the guided games, but I have watched. There's a guy that I mod for who has done those on stream, and I don't know because you don't really really in any raid, or whether you're doing PvP or whether you're doing a trials card or whatever, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, and you certainly don't when you're doing one of these guided games raids. Like you could end up being matched with someone on the other side of the world, from what I've seen. So I don't know. I guess the recognition at least is good.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that it's not necessarily gonna motivate me to go out of my way to sit in a lobby and wait on a group to join me, because from what I've seen and heard, the loading times on those and the waiting times are like
crazy,
better part of an hour.
Yeah. The cool thing I will say about the emblem is that for those who do it already, who just like helping people, who are like good at the raid, who like, hey, we want to help people, there at least is something that tracks how much you've helped people, which is kind of a cool thing to do. To like, so if you see someone with that emblem and it has even like 10 on it, I would be like, wow, that guy's helped a ton of people. Like, to even just doing 10 guided games, like helping people, that's awesome. You know, I would respect that guy seeing that emblem in the crew, especially if I came across it in the Crucible. I'd be like, wow, this dude really helped some people out with some raids. And if the number is extraordinary, like 50 or something, I'd be like, dang, this dude's helped a lot of people, you know? And so it's a way to gain respect from the community. For sure, I would have respect for that person. You know,
I agree. Yeah, not only is it like this guy's, it's pretty respectable that he's helped people, or he or she has helped people, but also that they've gone out of their way to wait and meet a group of people that they don't know, they've never met, and helped that many. They obviously know what they're doing and care about, you know, helping people through something that they don't have a resource to help them or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. Next up, we got a new inventory category called Pursuits, which is for tracking things like exotic quests, and it's specific to each character, not shared across accounts. which I thought was interesting because I don't feel like if I'm chasing an exotic thing, I guess I would want to be able to do it. But I guess it makes sense when you. I don't know. I guess it's fine.
It would be. I guess that's just kind of like moving Rat King out of your weapon slot
it's
and
off.
moving.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
those are already character based. So
That's what
makes
I figured
sense.
it was already like that anyway. Well, cool. I'm down with that because I'm
Yeah.
so tired of having the Acreus, the quest for like I got Acreus, but the next step that has you do 10 raids, like it's just sitting in my power slot permanently, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Talking about racking, I finally got that out of my.
You got that while you're getting that
accidentally-
free, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
right.
accidentally got it done because I think it was me and Swords both had it, so we got
That's
it
funny.
complete. So I finally got that out of my inventory.
On accident.
on accident. God
Awesome.
for that.
Next up is you can now separately adjust, or next week anyway, you'll be able to separately adjust volume on 4 different things now. So sound effects volume, dialogue cinematic volume, music volume, and then chat volume. They all have a separate thing for it now, which is awesome. That was something that I kind of wanted previously, because sometimes I want dialogue and cinematic high, but like sound effects down more, stuff like that. It's nice to just be able to adjust them individually.
Yeah, it depends on who I'm playing with too. Like if I'm playing with like Lego or Wendler, I like turn everything up and like. Chat
I'm
way
included
down.
with Windler. What is
Oh,
happening?
Man, I don't know that I would include Lego in any group with Wendler.
Well,
Thank you.
here was
Thank
my
you.
thought process. I was gonna just say Wendler, but then I was like, that's getting kind of cliche.
Yeah,
And I was
that's
like,
true.
I
So
like
Triton,
making fun
throw
of
Triton
Lego.
in there.
Triton doesn't even defend himself. He's like a wounded puppy, a quiet Asian wounded puppy.
Oh, okay. Before we get in trouble.
Okay.
There's now lockouts for raids that are class based. So you can't run the same class in a raid 3 weeks in a row and get all the armor set for that one class. Now you only get, if you run the raid on a hunter, you
You
get
mean
hunter armor.
For that week. You
For
said-
that week.
You said 3 weeks in a row. You can do as many weeks in a
Sorry.
row. Yeah.
Sorry, I meant 3 characters in a row. My
Gotcha.
bad.
Characters,
I got scared. Okay.
Yeah, no, for 3 weeks you're done. That's all the rating for you. No
Well,
raid
crap.
for you. No, yeah. So basically character based now, or class based, not character based. So you can do it with 3
Right.
different characters. That's fine. You just can't get all the armor set at a raid for one class that
Right.
week by having 3 titans like John does.
No, I don't have 3 times. I did it back when I didn't like anything. I didn't like playing anything else, man.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
I don't mind that. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too.
Yeah.
They had already stepped toward that direction a little bit by saying if you have multiple of the same class, when you come through to get like your powerful engrams or whatever your engrams from Hawthorne on your second character, they're not going to be as high as they were on your first. So they've kind of got and then the infusion system too. Generally, you can't. Since D2's been in place, you haven't been able to infuse
Yeah.
like Titan armor into Warlock armor or anything like that, like you could in D1. So that we've kind of had steps toward this kind of a thing anyway. So it doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
Last thing is a pretty big one for me personally. They fixed the black screen tower issue, which I thought that was fixed before, but maybe it was just like they found the problem and
Yeah,
now
they
it's
said
being
it was
fixed.
something about a piece of scannable lore that populate over. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I don't know anything. I'm stupid. But
It's
it was
fixed
something
now,
like
though.
that.
Or
yeah.
next week it will be, which is going to be awesome because I'd love to be able to load into the tower with all my friends. Then after that, we got in more exotic weapon teases. So 3 more this week: Risk Runner, Sweet Business, and Darcy. Risk Runner does 50%, or you get 50% damage resistant. And this works in the Crucible now too. You just have to have it out in the Crucible, but in PvE, which they said on a different stream, I think, like it works even if it's stowed. Like you get damage resistance, and Art Conductor is active even when you have it stowed, which is awesome. And it looked really strong having that Art Conductor go through Crucible. And I think right now that doesn't work, but now it will. in the Crucible, that is. And then Sweet Business has a ton of freaking ammo now. They gave it 999 rounds, which reminds me of like, you know, in old video games when you type in like some sort of code or hit AD up, down, and then it always maxed out at 999 for all your weapons, and then you'd have to do it again when you ran out of ammo. So
I wonder if it's going to be a great weapon for DPS for like boss fights and stuff.
Dude, I think so.
A constant stream of damage might be good.
They showed it. They showed a clip of it where it just felt like it never ran out. And in that clip, they specifically said, somebody said on Twitter, this is using some exotic legs.
Lunafaction boots on the Warlock.
Oh, it's the Warlock. Okay.
Yeah, it's where it moving in and out of your rift auto reloads your weapons.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, because I was like, this isn't the Titan one, because the Titan one doesn't work this well. Like the Titan piece that reloads machine gun.
Yeah, Acti-Morig.
Yeah, which maybe they'll make that better in the future. We never know.
I think it'll still be good with the size of the mag now on this thing. Yeah, it'll still be good.
Or with a Titan barrier, the small one.
Rally barricade.
And so we got that. Last weapon was the Darcy sniper rifle, which now does 4 times damage once you're locked on. So a ton of freaking damage.
Yeah.
But also they're giving it a shorter zoom and more aim assist. So they were like, feel free to use it in PvP. It's going to be awesome there.
That would be Mana, the one weird gun that nobody wants to use.
Hey, I'm down, you know. I felt okay, so I went from like Steel Piercer to Black Spindle. No one ever used either of those. And I felt good owning.
Steel Piercer early on, I feel like I used to use it, but then I mostly went away from it once I got a good, was that 1,000-yard stare that was big at that time?
Yeah.
That and what's the one we were using late year 3 that came back?
Oh, that came back from year 1.
Longbow?
Longbow and
LDR?
LDR, yeah.
But I mostly went away from Steel Piercer just to have consistency, because it was Hunter exclusive.
Right.
That is true. I did main Hunter for a long time, huh?
Dude, you know what I miss from D1? Speaking of snipers and all that, it reminds me. Do what? No.
Oh.
So I used the ViewTac scope on all my snipers for a little while, and the first movie of the week I ever won was using that scope, and everybody kept asking me like, what is that scope? Like, no one used it. It was the rectangular
like the
one,
square, like
the square one. Yeah, dude, I love that scope. Because it let you so much, and
you could see a lot of field of view with that.
It just looks so sci-fi like, and there's no weapon in D2 that has any kind of scope like that.
Lego's first movie of the week. You notice he had to say first because he's won like 10.
just saying, it's nostalgic for me.
Can you win me a movie of the week now so I can have the emblem again?
How many do you want me to win for you, Hove? I can only do so many.
I just want one.
You just want one? Okay, we'll work on it.
Just come on.
We'll work on it. So yeah, that's it for the exotic weapon teas. I'm excited for those. Now next up, all the strike modifiers, both for heroic, and we found out somewhat about the Nightfall score challenge stuff, or at least for legendary Nightfall cards. So for heroic strikes, it's basically it reminds me of like Prison of Elders or something like that, but they've described it as you get 1 burn, so the classic burns that we know, you'll have 1 of those per game, and then 1 advantage and 1 disadvantage. So the advantages are either Brawler or Grenadier, which we know those two, and then Heavyweight is the third one, which Heavyweight triples your ammo and doubles your power damage, which is like,
it's gonna be insane, man.
Ton of freaking damage. So I feel like any game that has Heavyweight, that's what I'm gonna want to be playing, you know. But then the disadvantages are Glass, which is half of all your stuff, basically, like your shields and health, and then it all recharges at double the rate. Then there's Blackout, which is your radar disabled, but melee from enemies do 20 times more damage, which I wonder if that's a mistake. Is it supposed to be 20%? Because 20 times more damage is an insta-kill.
Could you imagine those Cabal with the big like blades, just one bang?
Right? That is kind of weird. Like,
shields, man.
I get that. Yeah, it would be one or definitely one shot, but like, doesn't it seem like overkill?
20 times is so much.
Like even if it was
I kinda like it.
even if it was like 4 times, everything
I
would
like
probably.
it too.
No, but I'm saying like I feel like probably 4 or 5 times and everyone would one shot you too, right? Right?
Yeah.
Like it's melee.
I feel like they just absolutely don't want you to go
They
near
can
them, or
melee
else
you.
you're dead.
Maybe they can melee you out of supers.
They might be able to.
Maybe.
yeah, I bet so.
It just reminds me of Light Switch back in like the heroic story missions and early on in the strikes.
It'd be arc, and the thralls would be able to like one hit you no matter what.
I'm gonna tell you now,
Vandals.
if I get one hit meleeed out of a super by a dreg, I'm quitting. I'm quitting Destiny.
I would love to see
I
that.
won't play anymore.
I hope the
would love
power, like the 20 times, also goes with like the ragdoll. Like say you're flying in at like a cabal with the shield up, like you pop a super and he just goes whack,
And you're just dead.
Every time just a thrall hits you once, it launches you like a cabal ship does.
Yeah.
You know.
If I yeah,
like-
that's even worse than a drag. If I get one hit meleeed out of like my stripper blade dancer, whatever it's called, and a thrall one hit melees me, and I'm seriously like I will turn off. I will just turn it off, and I won't say anything. I'll just.
Could you imagine the
I
Scion, which they throw those purple things at you and they launch you 20 feet up? What if it just? What if they count as that like a melee? Just
They might. Yeah, they might. That might count as like a ranged melee or something.
Oh, that's awesome. I kept refreshing the TWAB thinking that like it was a mistake
It's
and it was
another
going to
mistake.
change the percentage, you know, but it never did. So
20 times, like why?
they need to
20?
keep that.
I don't know.
I think it's hilarious.
Maybe a new enemy type that they're introducing. It revolves around just melees, and they're just like, "You're going to get screwed, guys."
Yeah. Okay,
It's
so
ice throw.
next is iron, which is enemies don't stagger, but their health is at 50%, which that I think I would want to run that one out of all of them. And then grounded, you take 5 times more damage whenever you're in the air, so you get hurt 5 times more. I
Yeah,
don't know how to phrase that right.
That's going to be rough because like
I hated that one in D1.
yeah,
Me too.
you always jump around to try to get a little bit of a
Yeah.
speed boost.
Well-
So like, what you just get pecked in the side, just a couple shots. You're like, I'm almost dead now.
Wait until
I
the
need
8
to
challenge card disadvantages, because there's one there that's really counterintuitive to the way you would normally play.
Okay, yeah, so let's get to those. The unique legendary Nightfall card challenges, which you get from Xur. So Xur has more of a purpose now. That's nice. And these are the unique disadvantages you can add to your card. There's Extinguish, which returns a fire team to orbit on wipe, which we know that one. Famine, ammo drops are reduced by 50%, which somebody made a joke on Twitter. They're like, "Joke's on you, Bungie. I don't get any ammo ever dropping for me." So kind of.
That's kind of funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like that.
I know, right? So match game is players must match their damage type to the enemy shield type, which that was fun. We had that in D1.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah. Attrition. Health regen is slowed greatly and enemies drop health orbs.
That's interesting.
So yeah. Just
We kinda
kill
had
enemies
that.
from
They
running.
had that, and I don't know if they called it. Did they call it attrition?
It sounds familiar.
I'm
but
pretty sure that was a modifier that's always been in D2, and enemies would drop like they would look like the little orbs like you would.
Oh,
make
the
on
orbs of
double-
light, yeah.
Yeah, like you would make on double kills or something about that size, and you just run over those, and your health would replenish.
yeah, it does sound familiar. And then the last one was momentum. Health regenerates only when the player is moving. Is that the one you're talking about, Hove?
Yeah, because generally if you get all fucked up, you're going to go hide behind something.
Oh, right.
And now
Yeah,
you have to go running to get your health back.
I love that. I think it's awesome. Which didn't. Am I wrong? In Heroic Adventures have that right
Probably.
now? They have some of
The,
these.
the heroic adventures do have modifiers, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, I've
They
played some,
rotate. I think they rotate daily.
which I thought those were really fun. I just didn't have any reason to run them.
Yeah,
You
And
just
so it'll be
described
fun.
all of Destiny 2, though.
exactly.
That's true. And me and Marcus were talking about that in Discord earlier.
Who?
And I really do feel like, you know, with what they talked about in those videos beforehand, and I kind of brought it up already, but they are giving us things to chase. That's like their big goal for this is like, here's things to do, here's things to chase, here's reasons to do it. And so that gets me really hyped.
Mhm.
Last thing with the Nightfall, you got Nightfall. They're changing the Nightfall scoring challenge point levels. So right now, I can't remember what they were right now, but they're changing them to 30,000, 60,000, 110,000, and 200,000. And these are like the levels at which you increase your chance at getting the Nightfall unique reward and the ship's barrel, whatever, stuff like that. So glad to see those in place now that those people who are like grinding, getting to 400,000 points all the time and stuff like that, like you won't be able to do that anymore either. So we'll actually see what the real high scores are from people. So I'm excited to see Datto, really go to town here. I want to see these strats come out. Other than just doing lost sectors over and over again.
Right. That's kind of what the score farming, but you see some of these high scores, and then that's generally what they do.
Yeah. So for this next part of the TWAB, I was really hoping Triton would be here because I don't understand.
No, you aren't.
What the crap is going on with this prismatic matrix for Eververse? Can anybody tell me, like, in simple terms, what I know the basics of what it's trying to be is like, hey, these 9 things you can get if you buy something, you'll eventually get all 9 of these things, I think is what it's trying to say, but it's very confusing to me.
Yeah,
is it confusing to y'all?
I would just go to the TWAB and read it because I don't know.
It looks pretty.
It looks good. It sounds confusing, and I think it's trying to make us be able to get Eververse stuff easier, but I don't completely understand how.
Tuck said in chat, if you get a bright engram every week, you will get all of them without repeating.
Okay, so it doesn't reset every week, because on the image that they show on the TWAB, it says this resets in, 4 days. And I was like, well, if the prism resets every 4 days or every week, then I would never get all 9 of those things and they'd reset. And so how do you actually get everything? But that makes more sense what Tuck said. If they, if you're adding to your thing every week, you just get from your first bright engram, you'll eventually get all that stuff. So you eventually get everything for playing the game, which sounds great. If that's the case, that would be awesome.
Right.
But go read the TWAB.
Yeah, I just haven't had a chance to really look at it. I saw that it looked like complex, and I just didn't have time. I just didn't have time.
I gave up. I was like, that Lego will,
Yeah, I was hoping and he'd be like, oh yeah, well, that's easy. It's this. And I was like, I don't know. That looks. I get the idea of it though. Basically,
also, use your words. Go, everybody, start using your words.
No, we're not done with this yet. So Tuesday the expansion goes live. Friday the new raid layer does. And it's called Spire of Stars, and it showed a spire, but it didn't look like a Vex spire. But I have no idea anything other than that. But I wanted to ask y'all what you thought about raid dropping Friday, expansion coming out Tuesday. Do y'all feel like that timeline is good?
Do we know the light level for it, or the power level, or whatever?
I can speculate on it if you want me to.
You can speculate, yeah.
When I looked back, and when the Leviathan came out, it dropped at 260, which was 40 less the level cap. And then when Eater of Worlds came out, the new raid layer, it came out, it was 300, which was 30 less the power level cap. So if we're thinking it's going to be 40 less like the Leviathan was, then you'll only need to be 340 because the level cap's 380. But if it's 30 less like the Eater of Worlds was, then you'll need to be 350. My guess would be somewhere around 350. But
I would think 350, 360,
I wouldn't be surprised if it's only 340. If it's like Leviathan was, I would tend to say it's going to be more like the past raid layer and be 350 at least. I'm going to be off work a few of those days next week, and my last day at work is the 9th. I'm going to try my best to get to at least 360.
Get raid ready.
Yeah, to do it like a world's first kind of thing.
Before it's like 500, and you're just like, excuse me.
I don't think.
This is where the question mark
going on their track. I don't think that they would do that, but we'll see.
It does sound like they're trying to make things more difficult, or at least seem more daunting, when you face those enemies that you're not quite ready for. And I would love to see, even stuff like I don't know. I don't want to like jump too far out like there, but if like there was a spot in the raid that like you could come back and do later, even at the beginning of the raid that you couldn't do when you first come in, and it's like, oh, remember that thing at the beginning that like we could not get past, but we went this other way and got through, and then you go back and fight that thing, like something like that would be really cool. But
like a bonus chest for a chance for more like armor or like another weapon or something.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
That'd be awesome. I think we'll see stuff like that throughout this expansion in different ways. Maybe not in the raid, but it'd be cool to see something like that in the raid too.
For sure.
Okay, so after hearing all about the expansion, all of us, and this was a question kind of, Hove, I don't want to steal your thunder. I know this is a similar question to what somebody asked.
I don't have any
John
anymore.
But if you, took a hot air balloon up and looked at
Nobody asked about hot air balloon
expansion from a distance, like, would you guys feel like you would recommend it as a whole right now? Do you guys feeling good about it, or are you a little hesitant about stuff? How y'all feeling about everything?
I don't really like heights very much, so I'm just gonna look at it from the ground, but I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Okay.
It looks to me better than Curse of Osiris was. I think it offers more than Curse of Osiris did. In terms of activities to do, I think the ranked and the private matches, just that will carry the game for a while. I think because that leaves the community with something that they can come up with a lot of different things. That's going to open the doors to like the tournaments. Like there's a tournament out in Vegas in June already. That they're already going together. I think that'll probably put something together maybe for Guardian Con perhaps.
Speaking of tournaments, there is also, just a heads up to everyone, there's also a podcast tournament that is potentially in the works.
Right. I saw that.
So be on the lookout for that. We'll have more details about that in the future. But yeah, there's already lots of people putting tournaments
whether we're
going
to be able to do it or not.
Yeah.
So yes.
So that, I think that just any chase to get to another power level cap is good. And people saw 50, and then they saw, well, exotics aren't going to help me get there. Powerful engrams aren't really going to help me a whole lot. Clan engrams really aren't going to help me at all. I'm gonna actually have to play through the game and to power my level up if I want to do any of the in-game stuff at least.
I'm excited about that.
I'm kind of hesitant, I guess. I don't know, maybe it's because of the last DLC. I wasn't really impressed.
Right.
And I'm also with Hove. I don't really like heights. So I just wanted to add that in there. I'm afraid I might fall down and land on a random stalagmite and then be eaten by a vicious rabbit named Peter.
What would you call a rabbit named Peter?
Peter Rabbit.
Ding.
And then I would have to defend myself with my new exotic from the DLC called
Don't do it.
The Money Shot.
Oh my goodness.
He did it. He's done.
He did it all in one sentence even, sort of. Oh my god. I knew where he was going when he was like, a rabbit named Peter. Hold on. Wait till Mana gets back to his chair and puts his headphones back on. For anyone who's listening, Mana got really excited and walked away. Okay, he's back. Mana, I saw where you're going with that, and I when you were like, a rabbit.
I had to cheese it.
A rabbit named Peter. And I was like, that's not going to count. So, and I was like, what would you call a rabbit named Peter? Peter Rabbit. Oh my god.
Chat, I'm not going to explain anything. Okay, there's a lot of pressure building up. I had to do this.
Are you talking about the money shot
Cheesing it
again? There was a lot of pressure building up, and you just had.
Oh my goodness!
You took it there, not me. Okay, just for the record.
That's about as awkward as a stegosaurus on a pair of rollerblades.
Wow!
That ding ding.
Please tell me y'all have heard that Southern quote before.
Y'all is that really a Southern quote? Really?
That's a shame. And you live down here,
I know. I've never heard that. Wow. I'm not. I live.
Was that actual ding ding?
Like two of them. That was two dings.
That's impressive.
Yo, good job, KnowTime. Good job.
They just fist bump through the live stream.
Hey,
I'm impressed.
That was good.
My thoughts on the DLC as a whole, like I feel like I'm hyped every time, but I'm especially after playing Osiris, I'm like so hyped for this expansion on so many different levels. Like what KnowTime was saying, as far as like the Crucible things to chase, like if it were just that alone in private matches, I'd be really excited, because playing private matches with your friends is just so much fun. And then having something to chase in the Crucible for me personally, like that's great to have something to go for, because right now in Destiny, I don't have anything to go for other than playing with my friends and the enjoyment of playing with them.
that's right.
And I could even go over to PUBG, and even though there's no character development, I'm at least earning battle points to like get new stuff. Whereas Destiny, I'm not getting any new stuff. And so there's that whole thing. So I'm excited to come back and play for those reasons rather than just playing with friends. And then on top of that, the PvE stuff, like the exploration and the mystery that they keep talking about, like that really intrigues me. And that's even just reading through, like I was talking about earlier, I was reading through some of that new lore that they put out, and it was reading to me like the stuff from the Taken King was reading that got me super hooked. And I'm on it. Like, I feel like as soon as we're done podcasting, I'm going to want to go back and read the rest of it, because it had me so intrigued. I was like, this is the stuff I love. Like, this is stuff I missed from Destiny 1. So I'm really excited to jump into all that again. So I'm hyped on like several different levels right now. I don't think you could take me off the hype train.
To be fair,
even if it's not,
You've always been the optimist, though.
The new weapon system that I'm hoping for in September and all that stuff, like I'm still looking forward to all that. And I know there's still a lot of problems with the mod system and all this stuff, but for what we have, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I wouldn't say super excited. I was just going to rephrase mine. It's just like,
okay,
I'm looking forward to more things to do, because it's obvious that's going to happen, but I'm still going to be a little hesitant with the overall experience.
I think being skeptical I think that's warranted
for sure.
Given what's happened lately.
I did want to say, and this kind of goes along with what you're saying, KnowTime, and what Mana is saying. Like, I am skeptical of one thing with the expansion, and that's the protocol, escalation protocol. Like, I'm kind of, I feel like it's being hyped up the way like House of like Prison of Elders was hyped up. Yeah, and I'm like, we've done so many iterations of this that I can't be hyped for it. No matter what they say about it, the more they show about it, the less excited I am for it, which is weird, but that's just from previous experiences. I feel like I have to feel that way. It almost doesn't even have anything to do with what it is or what they've shown me. It's just, you get the same thing so many times from Bungie. You just kind of are like, well, it's gonna be like the other stuff,
Yeah, we've seen several different iterations of what we've seen so far, with either with Prison of Elders or Archon's Forge or Court of Orcs, because they have I want to say that there's 5 end bosses after the 7 waves or something like that. I think that there's a boss at a certain interval of waves, and at the very end there's one main boss, and that boss rotates once a week for 5 weeks, or there's 5 of them at least. And I don't know, the rewards that you're going to be able to get are going to have to be pretty good for people to stick around longer than a month. Because one thing I think that there will be a lot of people playing it starting out, especially if it's in like a patrol kind of space, kind of like Archon's Forge was, at least early on, to level up and just to see what it's about. But they're going to have some pretty significant rewards for doing it, for people to stick around longer than, I would say, 6 weeks.
Yeah, which, all that to say, even if, while I'm hesitant and stuff, like, it could come out and be great. And if it surprises me and it's better than I'm expecting it to be, which I'm kind of expecting it to be Court of Oryx, and if it's better than that, or even if it's equal to, like, I feel like Rise of Iron had the best iteration of all those things. But if it's that or better, then I'm going to be like very pleased with having that as a backup PvE thing to go to, especially if there's stuff to chase in there. Because I remember going into the Forge and Rise of Iron to get that fusion rifle,
man.
The gear
so
set.
Good.
Yeah, all that stuff was pretty cool. So if there's that equivalent, I'm going to be pretty happy.
Well,
yeah, Go ahead.
I think the one big difference, and I know we're also comparing it to like Archon's Forge and everything, which I think is probably more what I'm expecting. But the difference between this and like Prison of Elders, I think, is remember Prison of Elders was the end game for that expansion. There was no raid. It was, hey, do this Prison of Elders, and we all hated it. Whereas if it's just like a public event style thing that's kind of extra, my expectations aren't as high for it. Not in a bad way, just I don't think it needs to be great. It just needs to be worth doing
good
for
enough.
a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is impressive. I know some people are talking about spoilers in chat right now, but it is impressive how much stuff they have kept hidden as far as the main storyline for PvE stuff. Like they showed a little bit in this newest trailer thing, but for the most part, we don't really know anything other than, what was in that first little like Anna Bay thing. And
right. They showed a new strike boss, and I was surprised to see as much as they showed today. Honestly,
yes,
that
agreed.
thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that got me pretty excited, honestly.
It does get me kind of excited, I know.
And I don't know I mean, like back in Rise of Iron, they showed the whole siege engine coming at you and falling off the side of the cliff and all this kind of stuff.
Showed so much.
And I thought that in hindsight, obviously, I think that was a mistake.
Yeah,
same.
Too much of their hand there, and I hope that they have learned from that and won't be doing that for this, even whatever they're going to show here in a few days or tomorrow, whenever it's supposed to be, or for September. But I mean, I think that they've set themselves up pretty well to make this a fun expansion, and possibly set up for September too, depending on what they're wanting to, what we're going to be fighting from, changing from this kind of transition into the fall, like whatever they're bringing in that DLC that we'll be fighting then.
Yeah.
I'm just most excited to get one hit meleeed by a thrall.
And get thrown across the map.
Yeah.
Well, we do have one or two Twitter questions I think would be appropriate to ask. KnowTime. I know we got to know you a little bit earlier, but thought Azrael Speaks had one on Twitter. Hove, unless you want to take over right now, because this is typically your job.
It's fine. You go right ahead. You're the podcast boss. I'm just a lowly, member of the podcast. You go right ahead.
Okay, well, Azrael Speaks asks, my question is, what is the purpose of your streams and how do you make sure that is achieved? And I think that'd be a good question for you and for Mana and Hove when he streams.
I stream all the time.
Well, like I told you guys, I just started streaming straight from the Twitch app on the Xbox at like the end of 2016 to try to get that emblem, because at the time all I did was play Destiny. I was like, well, I might as well just play it through this Twitch app. I didn't have any viewers or anything like that at the time. And I got into some raid kind of communities. I started hanging out in the Say No to Rage, his community, his chat, GSXR Clyde, who's another raid streamer. And I hung out with them for a while and started raiding with people in their communities. And I just streamed them whenever I played. I started streaming, and they started following me and hanging out in my chat, like people from their communities and whatnot. We started growing it that way. And so early on, I had a really strong momentum into the Age of Triumph when all the raids came back, helping people with raids and getting the ornaments and all the new guns, Fatebringers again, and all the new exotics, all that kind of stuff that they put back into the game. And it kind of just turned into a way where people who like to raid and had like working class folks who worked all day and needed a place to hang out and play and raid and that kind of thing at night on the same schedule that I've been on, had a place to hang out. So I've kind of just made it not necessarily family friendly, quote unquote, because I'm not perfect. I make some mistakes, but I kind of call it family approachable. in a way that
like
I mean, I'm married and have a child, and a lot of the folks who come to my stream are young parents or aunts, uncles, what have you.
Yeah.
And they know how it is to be hanging around kids a lot, and so they kind of want that kind of a place to hang out in. And then I still do PvE help. So unfortunately, there's not quite the demand that I was looking for out of Destiny 2 to do that. There's, like we've talked about, the incentive hasn't been there. The rewards haven't been really worth the time or effort putting into finishing some of the in-game activities. Every once in a while, we'll have a night where I'll just help with like prestige nightfalls and stuff like that if people want to get the achievements or not trophies on PS4. And we'll raid a lot. And I kind of I put when I did the rebrand, let's see, my info says something along the lines of helping you manage your helping you provide knowledge and manage your time in looter shooters and other games. So folks that don't have a whole lot of time to game during the day, I kind of find all this I'm a mod for a couple of raid streamers and a couple of really good PvP streamers, and so I'll kind of get the information that they find out just by playing the games and stuff like that, kind of condense it down. And then when people who want to hang out with me and with the folks that hang out the stream every day or whenever I do stream, when they hang out with us, then I'll kind of share like the boiled down condensed version of where to go to do this or help with doing that. Or if you need anybody to play with or whatever, then you can hang out here and we'll do our best to help you out, that kind of thing.
So is that where KnowTime came from, the name?
Well, I don't, if you probably remember because it hadn't been that long, but I was KnowTime to disclaim. I've changed my name several times. I was actually J. Bishop Esquire back after I passed the bar exam, and I would like hang out in Broman's chat and Goss chat and stuff, and people would call me Squire. Like, wait, I'm not a squire. I don't ride on a little horse and hold stuff for a night. I'm not a squire. I'm an esquire. I'm an attorney. So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to ditch this name, or everybody's just gonna call me Squire for the rest of my life. And I all I played was Destiny 1. I enjoyed Vault of Glass. Stranger's always been like my favorite character. No Time to Explain.
Yeah.
Put a legal pun together with that. No Time to Disclaim, and I was that for a long time.
That's perfect.
I've been the pun of so many jokes, man.
Oh man.
And then I got to a point where I was like, well, I'm playing more than Destiny in Destiny 2 now. I'm playing stuff like Division, playing stuff like I played a little bit of God of War, played some PUBG when D1 was kind of in a lull. We've played Fortnite, we played a lot of different stuff lately, and I was like, well, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into just one game. But I kind of want to keep that same identity and the same jokes that people have made fun of me, So
that's perfect, man.
I was trying to change it around a little bit. A lot of the cooler NOTIMEs were taken on Twitch, and I was like, I talked to a couple different people through the name change process. Hovey kind of called me No to Me, which we could talk. That's a kind of a separate story that we could get into if you want, and where that came from. And I asked him about what if I changed my name to No to Me, because that was available.
Oh my gosh!
They were like, nah, that's probably not really brandable. And so I was like, I reached out to several different friends, and we kind of came up with the No Time. It says it's the same phonetic, spelled differently, no numbers, no Destiny pun, but it's still a joke of a name. Yeah, and that's kind of how it stuck.
Nice, very nice.
Lego, do you want to talk about your name change?
I don't have a name change. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Lego now wants to be known as Lee Flash.
Why is this a thing? Where did this come from? I don't
Lee
I
Flash.
don't understand. No, it's just
Lee. So I'm gonna just call you Lee from now on.
But
Lee
then,
Flash.
but then it's not even Lego, which like Lego is the main.
It's
part
Lego
of the name.
Lee Flash. You know, like Roddy Piper. Lego Lee Flash.
So, no.
Yeah.
No.
No, that is. It is.
No, that'd be like calling me by my middle name instead of my first name.
Is your middle
Which I
name
guess some
Lee?
people do that. So that Winnie? No.
No, is it Lee?
He said Winnie.
I thought you said Winnie too. I was like, what?
No.
Lego Lee
That is
Flash.
not.
I'm down. Azrael Speaks seems to be down. He likes it.
No, do not.
My
offend-
Discord.
What are you doing?
Your name is Lee Flash in my Discord.
No, it's because you made it that way.
I don't even have that power in my own Discord.
Well, if you did, yeah. Well, Hope, do you have a game for us to play? Or
Yeah,
are we
well.
gonna be finished?
I
with this
don't.
podcast?
I didn't have time to get that together.
Okay, we have no time for the rest of this podcast.
Okay.
I'm gonna be making puns
So
the
wait,
entire time.
everybody
telling
got
you,
their
I've heard 'em
words
all.
done, right?
I did. Yeah. Aren't you impressed?
I mean, yours weren't nearly as cool as No Times or Mana's, but
mine were so
I cheesed the
good.
crap out of mine. I'll admit though.
Man.
those were.
I think No Time probably had the best because he put it into a southern saying, which I don't
It's an
understand.
not a-
actual. It's an
No.
actual. Oh no, it's
Oh
not.
my god, you
Oh,
guys!
Dave!
Are you serious, Lego?
Triton? Can't believe a word he says.
Oh, man.
Lied to us straight to our face cam.
Well, this
I fist bumped you through the face
Yeah,
cam.
I know. Betrayal.
Wait, you both of you? God, what? So
Wait,
just-
what?
You both believed that like that was an actual like
Yes.
it's as
I
awkward
really
as a
didn't think-
Stegosaurus on rollerblades, guys.
I
He was
honestly
very
didn't-
persuasive with it.
He
Okay,
was.
it sounded
I honestly
legit.
didn't think y'all believed me.
No,
He
I-
sounds like an honorable, genuine person.
Yeah, well, so do you. and
Now
we
you're
found
making out like
different.
I'm not.
Wait, you are? I'm so confused.
Wow.
Well,
Too much emotions now.
this has been RezoCast episode 84.
Wait,
No
are we
time.
done?
Thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show.
y'all
We
for
really
having me.
appreciate you coming
I
on.
really
man.
enjoyed it. I appreciate y'all having me.
Good
Yeah,
job, for sure.
absolutely. This has been Lego Lay Flash, aka Lego
Lee Flash.
LE Flash, not two E's, just one. Thank you. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at Lego LE Flash. Hove, where can they find you?
In my chat, letting everyone know how to spell Lego Lee Flash.
With one E, thank you.
No, Lee. We could do it Leigh if you would like, if you want to be, I don't know, like a girl.
Why does that have to be a girl's name?
Isn't that generally how like girls spell it?
I mean, I'm sure a guy could spell it that way. Why has it got to be girls?
Oh my
Hove?
god, I'm done with you. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch mostly. Everywhere's Hove76, HOV76. Triton. Oh, that's right. Triton never showed up today. Mana.
Yeah. I am Alpha Asian again. You can find me.
You
You
can find
me
me
mainly.
climbing stalagmites.
Okay, well, my name is Manny Money Shot Gator. You
Oh
can
my
find me on YouTube,
Oh my word.
Twitch, Twitter. At not that name though. At the Manigator.
Do you remember?
Don't search that on YouTube,
Someday,
no.
someday on YouTube, I'll be back again.
Do you remember
I'm
when
still
you were
working
the
on
Mana
one
Gaper?
video. It was just like last week.
Yeah, we
man.
haven't called you the Mana Gaper in a while. You haven't been to the Thick House. I was at the Thick House yesterday.
I believe you. No time. Where
I-
can they find you? Let's end their
So
conversation.
many inappropriate things. revolve
My
around
my Twitch now is twitch.tv KNOW time, no time. And then on Twitter, I'm at no time TTV.
Very nice. Well, you can also find more about Team Resolute, where we are all from, at Team Resolute on Twitter. And you can find more about RezoCast at RezoCast. If you listen on iTunes or Google Play or anything, we'd appreciate the review if you enjoyed it. If you appreciated No Time coming out and spending his time with us, we'd enjoy it if you went and checked out his channel because he was a fun hang. And thank you, Blue Microphone and Headphones, for their lovely sponsorship. All these lovely microphone and headphones you see here, you can find more about them at bluemic.com and use discount code RezoCast for a lovely 20% off. And I think I'm not forgetting anything. Hope, am I forgetting anything?
I don't know.
I don't know. He doesn't care. Triton's not here. He doesn't care about anything. He's a lost soul whenever Triton's not here.
That's not true. I feel free.
Until next time, guys. GG.
GG.
Money shot.
Yeah.